Hey everybody, welcome back to GR Research. This is Danny Ritchie, and today we're going to be talking about what we've got planned for the future, new stuff that we've got coming up that we're working on, and all the things that we're putting in place for 2021. But before I can do that, I feel like I need to go back and talk about all the things that's happened this year. It's been the craziest year, and of course it's affected our business a lot, and it's affected, of course, all of us personally. And I just want to recap what's happened. And I guess I want to go back to the end of last year. Things were going really well, and our videos were really taking off. And I appreciate all of you who've been watching all of our videos and all the new customers we're reaching. It's definitely a new media for us. It's allowing us to reach people that didn't know about GR Research, and that's fantastic. I really appreciate all the new customers out there. And then going into 2020, it looked like things were going really well. The economy had picked up. People were spending money. People had jobs. The audio industry itself was looking pretty good. And then COVID hit. And it's changed everything. It's changed everything about our lives. Initially it all hit and we didn't really know what to expect. It was almost knee-jerk reactions. And I remember everyone rushed out and bought up all the toilet paper. And I remember thinking, why is everybody rushing out to buy up all the toilet paper? Suddenly a big pandemic comes about, and the thing everybody's worried most about is wiping their rears and blowing their noses. And that just blew me away. And it also illustrates the problem that we wound up having when everyone rushes out and buys everything, and then the factories that make those products are shut down. It becomes kind of a cascade problem here. You not only can you not get it, but the companies that make it can't make it. So we didn't see toilet paper back on the shelves on a regular basis for quite a while. And everyone was in a panic. I know it affected all of us personally. I know plenty of people who contracted COVID. I had a cousin and her dad, my uncle, that contracted it. She was sick for about a day or so, pulled out of it. She was fine. The uncle was care flighted right away to Wichita Falls Hospital, where he was there for about 3 days, and he didn't make it. He passed away. So COVID, it definitely affected my family, and affected really all of us on a personal level. But what I want to talk about is how it's affected things on a business level, even for us. Everyone was at home because of COVID. They were all sitting at home, off work with not a lot to do, and enjoying their music and deciding to work on their audio systems. So people started ordering stuff, a lot of stuff, between the videos we were doing and the new people we're reaching, plus people at home because of COVID. Our sales went up by a lot. I mean, a lot. About 400% over last year. So first of all, I want to thank all of you who have been ordering everything from us. I appreciate that a lot. It's meant a lot to us. Unfortunately, it caused a growth of a little bit of an exponential growth, so it's hard to plan for growth that's growing that fast. And like the toilet paper problem, we were unable to get raw materials in. We ran out of no-res quickly, and no-res is a product we sell a lot of. And the company that makes it is in New York, and New York's one of the states that got shut down. So we would contact them to order more product, and they couldn't deliver. And they would tell us it's going to be 6 weeks. And on that order, I would say, well, how about if I order, instead of 150 sheets, I order 300 sheets? And that was okay. But if I said, how about I'll take 1,000 sheets of no-res right now? Didn't matter. They couldn't fill it. They couldn't get raw materials themselves brought in to fill those orders. So it made things tough, and finally we would get some, and before we were even beginning to run through it, I would order another 300 sheets. So now every 4 to 6 weeks, I'm ordering another 300 sheets of no-res. And I had the same problem with inductors. We were blowing through inductors, and I would order all that I could. And the company that makes it was in Ohio. Ohio was shut down, and so they were slipping somebody into the factory at night to wind coils. And why not? I mean, anybody with common sense knows you're not going to catch COVID if you're the only one in the factory, and you're not going to give it to anyone if you're the only one in the factory. So it made perfect sense to have somebody in there working and winding inductors. So I think a buddy just buzzed my house in his plane. He did. He just buzzed the shop. Hey, Wade. So, and then I ordered all that there was from Solon up in Canada. I ordered all of their inductors of all the values that I needed and wiped them out. And we would still have long wait times before we could get inductors here. We had another inductor order come in on Friday, and it was 335 pounds of inductors. So we've learned to try and really stock up and keep hundreds and hundreds of inductors of all the values that we use on hand so that we don't run out. And all of that to say, now, what are we doing going forward? And of course, I have to say, COVID has made it really tough to get our drivers made. The same thing's happened over in India, where some of our drivers are made. Their factories have been shut down, and it's delayed a lot. And we're out of M130s, which is like this little guy here, which is one of our biggest selling little drivers that we've used in a lot of designs. We're out of the 8-ohm M130s, and more of these are being made right now. We sold out of the little LGKs, the little 3-inch full range drivers. We've got new versions of this that looks like is going to work out. They now have a copper phase plug, just like our NQ drivers. And this is one of the new NQ drivers that just showed up. The phase plug looks a little different, a little smoother on top. We've made some very slight changes in the design that made the frequency response even smoother. So these are coming, and they're coming in big quantities, and we expect to have all of these here before the end of the year. Like M130s and the LLGKs, there's thousands of those showing up. Literally, there's 1,000 of every driver being made. There's hundreds of these being made, quite a few, and we're prepared to order even more as soon as the new year starts. So we've got a lot of new models that we're working on. Well, I wouldn't say a lot of new models. There's some new models that we're going to be working on and tweaking, and all of that stuff's going to be available again. And I want to say this, here at GR Research, we have focused on trying to have high-end products at the budget price points, because there's still a part of me that is that poor college kid that loves audio. And I had a Yamaha turntable with a Grado cartridge and a great big Yamaha R2000 receiver and speakers all in my dorm room when I was a college student. I loved playing vinyl because vinyl sounded the best. And I had no money, and it was tough to buy stuff back then. It's still tough for a college student today to spend thousands of dollars on a pair of speakers. They don't have it. And so we've reached a lot of those people with kits that we can help you put together yourself, and you don't have to spend a fortune to get into this hobby and to reach really high levels of performance. We're trying everything we can to show you ways of reaching those higher levels without spending gobs of money, because you don't have to spend gobs of money. You have to spend some money, and you have to spend it rightly, and you have to really seriously consider your room and how it's treated and how things are set up to really get to those higher levels. And we're going to try and be here to walk you through that stuff and try to help you through ways of bringing you up the ladder without spending tons and tons of money. So that's one of the things we're going to focus on. The X series product lines that we offer have been a perfect example. For the money, those things can't be touched. And I feel really good about those things. There's not a kit out there that offers better performance at those price points. And there's budget levels that you can get into to build those kits and not spend a lot of money. There's options and upgrades that you can add on that can take those to really serious performance levels. And I've got a lot of customers who their first time into the business as a hobby, their first time hobbyist. And that's another thing we want to focus on, is trying to bring new people into the DIY market and teaching a new generation not only how fun this is, and how much performance there is and musical enjoyment there is, but how to be involved in this whole industry as a hobby. And so we're trying to bring in those people and add to them, new audiophiles. So we're working hard to do that. And we've also started doing cable kits this year. We started doing a really high-end speaker cable just recently. We did a video on it, and we're selling tons of this stuff. I mean, I've had to order another 300 meters of each cable just a few days ago. It's crazy how fast we're going through this stuff, and the feedback we're getting is fantastic. Everyone is floored by how much difference there is in performance when you move up to really high-end cable. And we're trying to hand it to you in a way that makes sense, to where it's you're not spending a fortune to try and have or build a really high-end cable. For those of you that are my really high-end customers, that NX series product line will be available again as soon as we get the NQ drivers back in stock. Those are serious performance speakers. It's still a kit. It's still a kit, and it's a more novice to expert level build. And those products are products you can compare to any speaker at any price point. I don't care what it costs. These are right there in the mix with the best of the best, and I'm really pleased with those. Probably been my favorites. I mean, I have an Extreme set up in my listening right now, and just love them. Just love them, and everyone that shows up and listens to them are just floored by that. And we're going to continue to offer those high-end products, and for that high-end customer, we're also still working on some solutions for those planar magnetics that we were carrying, like the Neo 10s. Hoping that I can work something out with Daiichi and use their new drivers that have been developed, and maybe relaunch that whole Serenity series that were all open baffle, all planar magnetics. There's several models in that line I want to re-release. We may not release them as kits, though. We may finally offer some really high-end finished product and do them more in a limited quantity. I've not wanted to get into the finished product market. It's a lot more labor intensive, but we may do that. We'll see. Can't really offer it as a kit so much, because when you start getting into price points that are that high, that are well into 5 figures, those customers really don't want to build a kit. They want the product finished. They want it brought over to the house, set up, and done. So we're looking into those options and trying to figure out what we can do there. We're also looking at some new power cables that we're developing, and we've offered some power cables in the past, and we're trying to take those to another level. We're going to try and see if we can offer really, really high-end, like some of the best power cables out there at a budget price point, and what it takes to do that, and how close we can get to those best of the best stuff without spending tons and tons of money to do it. So we're focusing on all that stuff, and we appreciate that you guys have kind of come along for the ride. I really appreciate that you guys watch the videos. That means a lot to us. Please continue watching. We're going to come back next week with some more DIY stuff and get into the stuff that you join in to watch. And this week I just felt like everything just seemed like such a disaster this year. It was unbelievable. I felt like I just had to say something about everything that's happened, and to thank all of you for kind of helping us through this time. All things considered, we've had a really good year when it comes to sales, but it's been a tough year, from a personal level to, everybody else out there. I know you guys are struggling. Some of you are, and some of you are spending your government assistance money on new speakers, which seems kind of crazy to me, but that's what you guys are doing. And if you're in a financial position where you can do that and we can help you, that's great. Thanks everyone, and drop in next week and we'll see what's going on. So that's it for this week, and I hope you guys didn't mind this tangent. So see you guys. Thanks.